Attention boils and ghouls. The footage you're about to see is from the E3 2019 build, so it is not representative of the final product. Now, sit back and relax like the dead as we bring you direct footage of Luigi's Mansion 3. I'm sure you're just dying to see it. Roll the footage. Hello, I'm Leon Fletcher from Nintibuzz, and today I am going to show you some Luigi's Mansion 3. So, out of all the games at E3, Luigi's Mansion 3 is probably one of my more highly anticipated games. I was very excited to get to try this out the other week at Nintendo UK. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Got a cute little Polter Pup loading screen there. So you start off with, or at least we started off with a bit of a tutorial, just going through the controls. So similar controls to Luigi's Mansion 2 Dark Moon for the Nintendo 3DS. So you've got your strobe bulb with A, you've got your poltergust where you can suck and blow. You've got a new feature called a burst, so you get a burst of air to levitate. So unfortunately I was not comfortable with the controls. I just had a bit of Ocarina of Time deja vu, where the default option is to repeat the tutorial, which, yeah, Nintendo likes to do that sort of thing. So, but to be fair, it's Polter Pup. Polter Pup is incredibly cute. Why would you want to repeat this tutorial 100,000 times? It's beyond me. Anyway, so I am comfortable with what I learnt, so let's get straight into the game. So for those of you who do not know, Luigi's Mansion 3 is set in a mysterious hotel called the Last Resort. Luigi and friends have been invited to the hotel, but as it happens in Luigi's Mansion games, things don't go to plan and spoopy things happen. Very spoopy. And Luigi is the only one remaining at the moment, so it's up to you to find out what happened. So, every floor represents a different theme. They didn't tell us how far into the game this particular floor is, but we do know it's a medieval theme. Really cool. So one thing which I've always loved about Luigi's Mansion is just the expression of the ghosts, their personality. And what I'm doing here is doing this new feature called the Slam. So you basically get to beat the heck out of all the ghosts in the Last Resort. It's like quite funny. Also, not sure if you can see, but earlier the ghost's health wasn't going down as much as usual. That's because I think it's this new feature where the ghost has to actually be in contact with the poltergust for the real damage to take effect. Otherwise, it's just sort of trailing, if that makes sense. So it will slowly dwindle in health, but you don't do the real damage until you've got a locked suction on the ghost. So at the moment I'm just vacuuming up some cash because Luigi is a greedy green bugger and he wants to be rich, but he'd rather not do it in a haunted hotel, which is fair enough. So we have just gotten to a little puzzle thing, very little environmental puzzle. I And one thing that happens is if you're struggling a bit, it's like you'll get a prompt saying, like, just giving you a little hint of what to do. So for this one, we are introduced to Luigi for the first time. So he can either be controlled by the solo player, but you can only control either Luigi, or he can be controlled by a second player. So I was playing solo, so I didn't get to try out the multiplayer when I was playing it. One thing I didn't mention earlier, but I'm happy that pearls have returned. But yes, we've got some more environmental puzzles. So luckily when you swap between characters, they sort of lock in the action that they're doing, which is very useful. It kind of reminds me of the co-op in Half-Life, which is pretty cool. So we've got another new move, which is the plunger shot. Can't remember what exactly it was called, but I'm going to call it the plunger shot, because you shoot a plunger and then you suck it away to get rid of obstacles. So it's very useful if a ghost has a shield or something like that. And I'm just going to whack the Magikarp out of these ghosts. I absolutely love the characters in the ghosts. Like, even though they're not similar models to the original, which I was sort of hoping, but they've really made up for it with the personality of the ghosts. I really can't wait to get hold of the final game and just see all of the ghosts and stuff. And from what I've seen, there's like a lot of the bosses are similar to the portrait ghosts from the original Luigi's Mansion. So I'm really looking forward to fighting those. They're going to be a heck of a lot of fun. I don't know why, I just had the biggest smile when playing this demo, especially when I got to do whack-a-mole with the ghosts. That was pretty cool. But yes, there's an emphasis on sort of exploring each room as much as you can, because that's the key to finding out if there's a key, or if there's some hidden secret, or if there's rats, for example. But rats usually mean treasure, and we know how greedy Luigi is. So, there's a lot of apples in that barrel. Trying to figure out how to get that sword. I don't think it's possible to get in the demo that we were presented with, but that's okay. Do you notice how Luigi gets slightly less scared between each Luigi's Mansion? So maybe by Luigi's Mansion 6, he'll be like, Super Luigi, I'm brave, I'm not scared of anything. Yeah, one thing I'd also want to appreciate is sort of the sound design of music. It's quite thematic. I can't wait to hear all the music from the other floors. That's really cool. So this is another sort of puzzle which I came across. So it's another reason to use Luigi. So you want to use Luigi to let the elevator down, so you can get down yourself, because it's not an automatic elevator. This is in medieval times. They didn't have any of the automated electronics or anything like that. So you just need some good old human power. So I'm just going to explore a bit down here. So one thing to bear in mind, you didn't get to see it, or you might have not seen it that well, but there's a bit of water that splashed down there. You have to be careful that doesn't end up on Luigi, otherwise he will instantly... I think he instantly dies. I'm not entirely certain. But like I said earlier, EGAD will often... or not sure if it's often, but he'll send you little tips on if you're having a bit of a hard time. So for example, we needed to use the dark light for this sarcophagus. Is it sarcophagus? It's close enough. Anywho, unfortunately I do have to end it here. I'm not allowed to show this boss fight, and it's not because I was absolutely horrible at it. But Luigi's Mansion 3 is coming out later this year. We don't know when, but we will update you as soon as we know. Other than that, enjoy the rest of your day, and until next time, keep on buzzing.